What is the number one root of all evil in the world right now? The number one root of all evil in the world. And no, it's not money. Believe it or not. All right, a lot of people like to think it's money, but it's not. It's actually emotions. Okay? Emotions are the absolute root of all evil in the world. Okay, it's the reason why there is so much turmoil in the world right now, because we've got emotional people in government, emotional people in schools, emotional people teaching our children, emotional people with no logic, no reason, and no common sense whatsoever. Because when you're an emotional person, just by default, you are void of common sense. You are void of being reasonable. Okay? You are void of these things. It's very, very difficult, if not impossible, to be reasonable and have common sense while you are being emotional. And this is often why when you do get emotional, you start to get a little upset, a little angry. Most people will want you to take a moment to calm down, to gather your thoughts, to get it together. But most people who are emotional, that's very difficult for them to do. There's a difference between being emotional versus being compassionate, right? It doesn't mean that you can't be compassionate towards, say, homeless people or people in need, people who need help. Okay, but it doesn't mean that you need to be emotional about it and make emotional decisions, because whenever you make decisions based on emotion, right, and you could check your own past experience, how'd that work out for you? Right? Whenever you made an emotional decision, how'd that work out for you? You know, you might have been walking by a car lot and saw a car that, like, wow, ooh, I gotta have that car, you know? And you bought it, and you brought it home. Then you're like, oh my gosh, why did I buy this thing? Right? Because you weren't thinking. You bought on emotion. Anytime you do something based on emotion, you are always going to make a bad decision. Okay? Always going to make a bad decision. So right now, because the world is so emotional, right? Every decision, I mean, it seems like we're living in crazy town all of a sudden, right? We're living in crazy town. We got all these weird gender pronouns. We got 65 different genders. We're more divided than ever. Why are we so divided all of a sudden, right? It's because one side is emotional and one side is not. And the side that's not is trying to apply common sense, where the side that's emotional cannot see that. So they just see the people who have common sense as people who are, you know, just uncompassionate. People who don't care about others, you know, because they're so emotional. But it's like, no, it's not that, right? Those people who have common sense do have compassion, but they're not so over emotional where they can't make proper decisions that are good for everyone versus just a small group of people, if that makes sense. You can be reasonable without being emotional, yet compassionate. Okay, which is what the world needs right now, because Satan uses emotion to trick your brain. Satan uses emotion to cloud your mind and blind you from seeing the truth. Okay, because he knows emotions are powerful, and he really uses emotions to control you. You know, where God wants you to use common sense. He wants you to use reason. Doesn't mean he doesn't want you to have compassion. Okay? But be reasonable. You know, and right now we have over-emotional people out there calling good evil and evil good. And you have to understand, at the end of the day, emotions are female. Okay? Emotions are female. Emotions are part of the feminine. Why do you think they say women are emotional creatures? They're more emotional than men. And this is why you see more and more men being encouraged to be less masculine and more feminine. Why? Because it will make you more emotional. Okay? And by default, you will end up supporting that side, right? That is all based on emotions and void of logic, reason, or common sense. So understand, emotions are female. Whereas reason and clarity of thought, are masculine. Okay? There's two big differences there. But if you look at most of the laws being chains today, you know, are being put in place, the decisions being made at the top of government, everything going on is being based on emotions, right? They're not being based on logic, reason, and, you know, long-term thinking. They're being based on emotions, which is short-term thinking, which is, you know, usually void of common sense. And this is often why it feels like you are living in crazy town out there, as it seems like we are right now. And this is why one side cannot understand the other side. This is why we're so divided right now, because again, you have one side that is just living 24/7 based on their emotions and how they feel. This doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make me feel good. Versus the other side that's like, hey, you know, this is not a good idea. They're detached from their emotions and they're just trying to do things that they see as best for humanity and society in the long run, right? How is this going to affect us in the long run? When it comes to emotional people, they don't see it like that. They just see you as being barbaric and archaic and you're being a Neanderthal and you're not being compassionate and what about the people and all this other stuff. And it's like, get a hold of yourself. Chill out for a second and think about what you're doing. How do you think we've like come to this place in life where we have, you know, all this wokeness and cancel culture where people are like literally losing their livelihoods, their ability to provide for their families because they said the wrong thing like 20 years ago when it wasn't even a thing back then, you know, and all of a sudden they're being dragged out in the middle of the arena, you know, and shamed in public in front of everybody. It's like, why is that necessary? What are you doing? What message is it sending? Right? But at the end of the day, like I said, emotions are the root of all evil in the world. It is what's causing all this turmoil in the world. And too many emotional people right now, especially at the top, scary enough, making changes in government and laws, schools, teaching our children. And this is why you've got crazy town going on out here. Well, not here specifically, Vegas. I mean, it is a little crazy, but you know what I mean. Out in the world. But emotions are the root of all evil. Change my mind. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you think. Feel free to share any ideas I might have missed down below. Share with the tribe. Always love to see you guys in my comments. Always love to read them. So share those comments below. As always, this is Matt Cross from Alpha Male Secrets. Do not forget to smash that like button below. Go ahead and smash it right now. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so that you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on my YouTube.